all here, as well as Kay Zeitz from Arizona. Thanks for tuning in. Well, hello and welcome to the Doctor Janine Show. I'm so glad to have you all here, and we have a great show lined up for you. We're talking about how to balance the thyroid, especially hypothyroid. I've got my tips for that coming up. We're talking about zombie cells. Yeah, what are zombie cells? We're going to go through all of that and how this can be correlated very much so to the aging process, and it could be aging you more quickly if you've got a lot of these zombie cells. We're also talking about motion sickness and my tips for that. Super easy hacks for motion sickness that works amazing, and of course all natural. And ulcerative colitis, we're going to have some tips for that as well. And of course, we talk all things natural. You're gonna hear some little sort of tidbits from my book as well, which is due to launch May 19th. We are open for pre-orders now, so you definitely very, very popular. I'm super, super excited for the fact that so many of you have already pre-ordered your copy, and I'm so excited to be here. Hello in Idaho, Jen Murph, nice to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. DH Bond, thank you for tuning in. Myra, hello, good morning. Raina, hello. And thank you for sharing today's live. So hey, if everybody could share, like Raina did already, I truly appreciate it. Raina sending gifts already. Thank you so much. Love the fact that you are tuning in and you are here. Now, don't forget, this is a very interactive show. So pay attention to what I'm talking about throughout the show, because we will be playing for a prize. This week, we're playing for the season support from our great sponsors, our friends at VitaTree Nutritionals Whole Food Vitamins. All right, are we ready to talk about those zombie cells? Yes, we are. Okay, I'm so glad to have you here. Kathy, thank you for tuning in. Medusa Stones, thank you for being here. Safrina, I'm so glad. Okay, you already ordered the book. Thank you so much for your support. Tony, good morning. Nice to have you here. Deborah as well in Maine. Thank you. Carolyn in regional VIC? I should know that. Is it Victoria in Australia? Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, Victoria, I'm right? Yes. Thank you for tuning in all the way from down under. Thanks for tuning in, Davania. Thank you so much. Good morning for tuning in. DRG, Melinda in Indonesia. Thank you for being here. And Lile in Belize. Thank you for tuning in. Petunia Stupid in Philippines. Great to have you here. And, you know, people from all over the world. And Selma in Canada. Thank you. Missy Bim59 in Michigan. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so let's talk about these zombie cells. We're going to come back to the thyroid. That will be coming up. But what are zombie cells? Anybody watch The Walking Dead? Put a 1 in the comments if you ever have seen The Walking Dead. And we're not talking about Walking Dead here. Obviously, we're talking about zombie cells, cells in our body that aren't necessarily dead yet, but they're not functioning normally as well. They have stopped dividing, but they're called zombie cells because they're still there, but they refuse to fully die and leave the body. And this has something to do with our immune system, and is very interesting because we can have signs and symptoms of having too many zombie cells. This is aging us more quickly. So this is something that we definitely want to make sure that we are getting rid of the zombie cells as much as possible so that it isn't aging us and causing other inflammatory markers, inflammation in our body. And that is part of the aging process when our immune system is no longer going in and cleaning up these zombie cells. Isn't this interesting? Okay, Reina Gomez, yes, aha. Kathy, June, I see these ones. Tony as well. Thank you for putting the ones in the comments. Okay, so what do we do about this? Well, what we want to do, of course, is maybe know what some of the causes of having these zombie cells is related to. And then maybe we can mitigate some of these risks if we know what the causes are. So number 1, of course, is just aging in general. So naturally, we're going to have some zombie cells. It's our immune system's job to help to clear them up. Number 2, free radicals, toxin exposure also accelerates more of those zombie cells. Number 3, chronic inflammation. So if you're not dealing with that chronic inflammation that your body is dealing with, then yes, you could increase those zombie cells and making it a little bit more challenging for your immune system to have another thing to deal with to clear them up. Please hit that share button like Raina did earlier. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button as well. I see those hearts coming in, so I thank you so much for all of your support during our live shows. Don't forget, we have some quiz questions coming up. We're playing for a free prize from our sponsors at VitaTree coming up, so make sure sure you're paying attention. Just a little hint to the content that I'm sharing. Okay, number 4, mitochondrial dysfunction. So remember, mitochondria, yes, they are the powerhouse of the cell, but they also have a lot of other processes besides just creating ATP, that energy for ourselves. So this is really important. So this could be lack of sunlight exposure, lack of getting grounded, as that's related to our mitochondria not working optimally. Okay, number 5 is weakened immune system as well. So of course, if you have some immune challenges, that could be hampering your body's ability to clean up these zombie cells and is aging you more quickly. Thank you, Raina, for sharing. I see that. And so many of you as well that have hit that share button. I truly appreciate it. Okay, so we will be talking a little bit about ulcerative colitis in a few moments, so stay tuned for that. But let's first talk about something that came up in the last show when we were here a couple of weeks ago, and that was motion sickness. Because I know a lot of people, myself included, and it took me years and years to discover that, I wasn't always feeling well. Especially with airplane travel. So you can have motion sickness from airplane travel, of course, from riding in a car or a bus or a train even. And this is something that maybe that they didn't tell you about motion sickness, and that it is treatable with a very natural way to be able to do that. And I'm going to share that. But this is related to a histamine release. Now, the brain is always getting these biofeedback mechanisms. Maybe you can throw me the brain really quickly. So I'm going to have my little helper here, Zarina. She's going to throw me the brain. And yeah, taking it out of Lucy's head. Woohoo! Thank you. Okay, so we've got the brain. So what can happen is a histamine release from the brain, and this is going to be related to our inner ear. And so the brain is always reading and getting feedback, even from what we're looking at. So the visual centers, as well as the sensory input, so the somatosensory systems, so what's happening in the vestibular system, in your ear, in your brain, in what's happening here in terms of how your head is in motion with what your eyes are looking at. This all needs to be coordinated in the brain. And when there's a conflict between these, so think of, okay, you're in a car and you can't necessarily, and you're not looking out the window and you feel that motion sickness coming on. That's because your eyes are not in coordination with the motion of your body and your brain and your inner ear. So when there's this mismatch, another one is reading. If anybody who can't read in a car, you feel sick or you start to get a headache, put a 2 in the comments if you're like me and you're super sensitive to this, because I know I'm not the only one. And then again, this is your vestibular system and your brain centers are not properly coordinated. There is that mismatch, and this can now hit the H1 receptors, so the histamine receptors in the brainstem, which are linked to the feeling of nausea and vomiting. So yes, okay, so here for the truth, yes, again, you are like me, Erica, Marvelous 6411, Safrina, GM Vigil, you can't read in a car. I know, I'm that person. 3, Victoria Gray, here for the truth, yes. Okay, so I understand that we are similar and there is a histamine response happening, and that mismatch is causing you to have that motion sickness. And this can happen in a car, like I said, a train. Another thing is the direction in which you're sitting in, a vehicle when it's moving, any type of vehicle is important. So facing in the right direction is going to be one of my tips. If you have experienced this before, okay, so that's related to histamine, you can maybe imagine what one of the natural things that we can do for this in terms of being able to help with that histamine response, and it's one of my tips. Okay, so let's continue now. And we're already at quiz question number 1. Okay, are we ready for this? I hope you were paying attention a little bit earlier. If you're just tuning in, we have quiz questions here, so please just do your best to answer the question. You have the ability to win this prize, so our team, of course, will send this out to you for free. All you have to do is participate. Make sure you're following me, of course, so that we can reach you. Follow Team Dr. Janine on some of the platforms as well, so that if you are a lucky winner, that we can reach you. But here we go. Quiz question number 1, and we're going to have a few throughout the show. Okay, what is it? Let's go. You're going to have 30 seconds. True or false, mitochondrial dysfunction can cause more zombie cells. If you're just tuning in, we are talking about zombie cells today. More importantly, what to do about them. You've got 30 seconds on the clock. Try to answer that question. Good luck, everyone. Okay, 10 seconds left. And 3 seconds left. How's everybody doing here? Okay, good. I'm glad. Dennis, good morning. Nice to have you here. Christopher as well. Thank you for tuning in. Orthomolecular 915. Thanks for tuning in today. Vacation Girl Vibes. Good morning. Great to have you here. Okay, everybody got your answers in? Yes, Martha, Betty, Deborah, Laura. I see your answers. DH Bond, I got you. Yep. Good job, everyone. Mary as well. William, good job. Okay, Tony, good job. Lorenzo, Roberto Lozano, good job. Medusa Stones, Mike. Okay, I think everybody got it correct. Of course, let's reveal the answer. And the answer, of course, is true. So good job, everyone. We have some more quiz questions coming up. All right, so let's continue on. I do want to announce last time's winner, and that was for the Vita Detox, and it was Lori Syed. Congratulations to you. Awesome job. And this is fantastic. I hope that you're here, Lori, and playing for today, because you could win again. We have had people who have won multiple times, so you just have to participate and do your best. All right, so let's talk about my tips now for that motion sickness. Remember that mismatch between what's going on between your inner ear, your brain stem, histamine response that's happening as well. So my first tip, of course, is whenever you can, sit facing forward. So if you're in a vehicle in motion, even on airplanes, if you're on a private jet, maybe you have the opportunity to sit backwards. I don't know. But this is something that you want to be able to, whenever you are sensitive with that, motion sickness, you want to face forward in the direction in which your body is going. That's going to help. Okay, number 2 is peppermint essential oil. So this is something that's fantastic. I'm going to show you a tip and a hack how to use this very specifically. So using peppermint essential oil especially can help with that nausea. So if you start to get nauseous with motion sickness, that is going to help you. Okay, number 3 is a whole food vitamin C can be really helpful as well for motion sickness. It helps to decrease some of that histamine response, as well as another ingredient that I'm going to be talking about in tip number 5. Please hit that share button. Love to have more people in on the conversation today. It's so great to have you here. Thank you for all the hearts coming in. I see all those likes and I see these great smiley face emojis coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here today. It's such a great show. Okay. And thank you for all my new followers and subscribers as well. It's so great to have you here, and welcome on in if you're here for the first time. All right. Number 4. Grounding. So what is grounding? Earthing, of course, connecting with the earth and the Schumann resonance. Okay, so this is really important because the earth is called the natural heartbeat of the earth. We want to connect to that to know that our body is safe and in tune and grounded with the earth. And that's one of the things, if you do travel, so if you're going in an airplane and you arrive at your new destination, one of the best things you can do, especially if you're feeling a little bit wonky from the motion sickness, is to take off your socks and shoes, get out on the grass or the beach somewhere, and just get grounded. It does wonders for making you feel so much better. All right, so grounding, really important, getting those electrons from the earth, the Schumann resonance. And number 5 is something that you can actually take, and it's a combination of some Varia japonica plant, really, really powerful antihistamine that does not have the same side effects as conventional antihistamine. So allergy medications, often they make you feel very groggy and does something in your brain so that you can't normally function for a lot of people. So that's the great benefit of doing it naturally with these natural antihistamines. Quercetin is one. Butterbur, another plant that has natural antihistamine effects, and the stinging nettle also is a natural antihistamine. And taking these in combination all together is something that I take now when I travel. And it's remarkable how well this works, how quickly. So what I do is I take that combo, it's all in one capsule. I take the combination as we're taking off, even a half an hour if I've forgotten. I always have it in my travel, my carry-on. And I take a couple capsules on takeoff, or as soon as I remember, if I've forgotten, on takeoff. And then if it's a longer flight, and I know that, with arriving and landing, I take another 2 capsules if it's a longer flight. Usually the 2 capsules is going to last 3 to 4 hours. So depending on how long your travel time is, before you get into a car, long car rides, train rides. Hopefully some people will be getting out there and traveling in the next few months. So this is something that if you do suffer, this is a game changer for motion sickness. I'm telling you, it works amazing. All right. Now we're going to go to the beauty set really quickly, and I'm going to demonstrate exactly how to use that peppermint essential oil. And what you're going to do is you're going to find the acupuncture point. And you may be familiar with this if you've ever used the sea bands. Have you ever used the sea bands? Put either a cruise ship or some waves into the emojis if you can find that. If you are aware of this, you've been on a cruise, you've used the sea bands, there's got to be somebody out there who has experienced this. And it is so important to know that this specific acupuncture point, maybe you've done it in pregnancy, so this is also applicable, this acupuncture point in pregnancy. Now, maybe not with the essential oils always in pregnancy. You always have to check with your practitioner during pregnancy, but this is something that needs to really, you know, in terms of the point and where you're going to use this. Okay, I'm waiting for the, no waves, no cruise ships. Maybe nobody can find it. But anyways, okay, the sea bands, at least. Yes, okay, EK says yes, sea bands. Okay, so you're aware of this. Thank you, Khalid, for sharing today's live. It's great that you're here. All right, so what you're going to do is find pericardium 6. Okay, now I see the waves. Sharon, Raina, we found the waves? Okay, awesome. So pericardium 6. So what you're going to do is find the major crease in your wrist. I want everybody to do this at home because this is useful information. Maybe not for yourself. Maybe you're going to actually help somebody with this who is not feeling well with nausea. Okay, so that major wrist crease, you're going to take your 3 fingers. Okay, so your 3 middle fingers, place it on your wrist crease, and that's about 4 centimeters from that wrist crease, and you're going to feel some tendons there, and that is the point. It's called pericardium 6 in traditional Chinese medicine, and you can massage that area, but to bring this up a notch, for motion sickness, you're going to have your peppermint oil, and you can get this with the little rollers as well, and just apply a drop exactly to that point, and you're going to circularly rub that in, and then you can actually press the point, and this is really going to help with any type of nausea and motion sickness. All right, so I hope you're loving this. There you go. Plus it smells amazing. I also use the peppermint oil for my kids if they have a tummy ache or they're feeling nauseous. Just rubbing it around the belly button can also be super helpful. So you always want to have some peppermint oil in your home, in your purse when you're traveling, in your backpack, whatever, your carry-on luggage. Amazing to have this with you. And it just smells so great, and it really does wake you up as well. All right, so I want to share my viewer spotlight of the week, and this is from Claudia Marie. And Claudia said, so much to learn to stay healthy. Thanks for the help. Because of you, I am checking all my supplement purchases to make sure I buy natural derived vitamins and not synthetic. Thank you so much for saying that, Claudia, because I'm glad that I was able to educate you and so many others, because this is a big area of concern for, you know, a lot of people that you don't necessarily know that the vitamins that are supposed to be natural, even some of the ones that may have been prescribed to you, thinking that they're all natural, not necessarily. Most of them actually in this vitamin world are synthetically derived, and they're not from whole food. I like whole food nutrition, whole food vitamins that don't have any of the synthetics or the added fillers and flow agents that they put into the vitamins just to fill up the capsules or to make the tablets. So being aware of that, Claudia, is really important. So thank you so much for sharing that. And you were our viewer spotlight of the week. All right, so let's continue on now. Some of the symptoms. How do we know that we have these zombie cells? Can we bring back the zombie for a second? I just think it's so much fun. My team behind the scenes. Yes, there we go, the zombie cells. Again, Walking Dead, anybody who watched Walking Dead, this is so important. All right, so how do we know that we have zombie cells in our body that need to be cleaned up? Let's go through some of the symptoms, and I've got 6 of them, which can be correlated. Okay, so number 1 is fatigue. So lack of energy. You just don't have that energy that you think you should. People sort of chalk it off to the fact that, okay, I'm getting older, I'm more tired. No, or the hormones are changing, I'm more tired. No, it could be that you have these zombie cells and your immune system isn't doing what it needs to get rid of them. Okay, number 2, aging, wrinkles. If you're seeing too many of these and you don't like this, again, it could be an indication that you've got these zombie cells. Number 3, more inflammation is happening. So you are sore, you've got back aches, muscle aches, a lot of inflammatory response happening. This could, and again, it's not clearing up. It's not, you didn't just injure yourself. It's not something that is clearing up as quickly as what you think it should. Again, could be related to those zombie cells. please hit that share button. Hey, thanks everyone who's tuning in today. Dennis, thanks for tuning in. It's so great to have you all here. And it's so fun for me to be able to share in my live shows because I get to interact with so many new people every week. And then of course, all of my people who have been with me for years and years now, it's so great to be able to connect with you always. All right, continuing on, let's talk about loss of muscles. Yeah, so again, something that we often correlate to the aging process in men and women after a certain age. But again, if you're feeling that you're not able to maintain your muscle mass as you once did when you were younger, again, there could be a little bit too many of those zombie cells that are, increasing in your system. Okay, number 5 is bone loss as well. So osteopenia, osteoporosis, again, can be correlated to too many of those zombie cells. And number 6 is weakened immunity. So you have difficulty fighting things off. You feel that you just get over something and then you're getting sick again. Could be related again to those zombie cells. But I do have my tips coming up. So that's the good news, okay? But first, we have quiz question number 2. So if you're just tuning in, we have live, and I'm Dr. Janine. Welcome on into the show. We have live quiz questions throughout the show, and you get the opportunity to play for a prize, okay? So this week we're playing for the season support from our great friends at VitaTree Nutritionals, okay, a whole food vitamin company. Love them, and we thank them for supporting the show and having me come out here and educate you all every couple of weeks. All right, so are we ready for quiz question number 2? If you're just tuning in, it's okay. Just take a stab at it. It's all right. But most of you, I think, are going to get this one correct. Are we ready? Okay, you're going to have 30 seconds. This one's super easy. Are we ready? Here we go. Name an essential oil that is good for motion sickness. If you could smell it, you could smell it. I just talked about it, okay? Everybody put your answers in. Well, that was quick for some of you. You've got about 20 seconds left. All right, 10 seconds left, everyone. I love these answers, very good. Barbara, yes, I was talking about full body inflammation earlier. Great question. All right, everybody's got their answers in. Yes, I saw all good answers. I saw another one good answer in there as well, which was ginger, rosemary. Very good. Seamus as well, good answer as well. The one that we mentioned today, of course, was peppermint essential oil. So congratulations to all of you who got that peppermint essential oil correct. That does help with motion sickness. All right, now let's talk about my tips. How do we get rid of these zombie cells? And somebody found the zombie, Relief Doc. I love that. Anybody else can find that zombie emoji and put them in? I think that's super cool. And it's so funny, I didn't realize that was actually in there on the different platforms that they had the zombie emoji. All right, so let's talk about now how we can increase something called autophagy. Now, autophagy is your body's natural clean-up mechanism and helps to actually get rid of and clear out those zombie cells, all right? So this is important. Okay, tiny minute, Kathy Stat. Okay, there's multiple zombie emojis on here, which is so funny. Roxy, I love those, so funny. Thanks for tuning in, Shane. And Tilly, thank you so much for sending the heart. That is such a generous donation. Thank you so much, Raina. I love those zombies. Isn't it so funny? Safrina. Okay, everybody's finding the zombie. Kimberly Todd, oh, that one's kind of scary. Wow, these are great. Erica as well. Awesome. Okay, so how do we get rid of these zombie cells? Remember, they are compromising our health, aging us more quickly. We want to get rid of them. How do we do this? Okay, one of the things that you may have heard about, especially if you learn about natural healing, number 1 is intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is something that speeds up your autophagy, or your body's ability to help to clean up these zombie cells. So that's a great thing. And the great thing, Roxy, thank you so much. Roxy27, thank you for the generous donation. That's so kind of you for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. So this is something that, yes, intermittent, but I usually recommend intermittent fasting. What that means is not to do it all the time, every day. You want to sort of do bursts. of intermittent fasting. And of course, fasting your dinner is going to be a higher recommendation based on circadian biology. You don't want to skip your breakfast. You want to skip your dinner, all right, to get more benefits and to not mess up your leptin signaling. And that's something else that I talk about in a lot of my content. It's also an entire chapter. So if you're new here, my new book is coming out. It is available for pre-order now. This is my third book. I'm super excited about this one called The Lost Medicine. So it is available for pre-order. So please check it out on drjaninebowring.com. And I have an entire chapter on leptin resistance and leptin. So that is something that I was just doing. I'm working on the audio recording right now for the book, so it will be an audio book as well. So yeah, I just did the leptin chapter yesterday, talking about EMFs, talking about Mother Nature's prescription, which of course is the subtitle of the book, and we're going to get to that in a second. All right, so what else can we do? I also have a chapter in the book for tip number 2 to get rid of zombie cells. And it is cold exposure. So cold showers, ice face dunks can be really, really helpful as well. Also helps with your vagus nerve. So anybody who has a lot of chronic stress and cortisol issues, that is something that is amazing as well. So cold exposure can help to clean up these zombie cells, of course, stimulating those mitochondria, helping with mitophagy, which is, the cleanup mechanism as well, in the mitochondria, which is important because we can have old dead mitochondria as well that are sort of zombies. So cold exposure, amazing for getting rid of zombie cells. Number 3, so the opposite of that, sauna, heat exposure, those heat shock proteins also stimulates the immune system, helps with getting rid of zombie cells, and is very, very anti-aging, both of these, cold exposure and sauna. It's interesting, when the body becomes a little bit uncomfortable, then this is the impetus for the body to actually clean up and detox and do all the things that it's meant to do. So we shouldn't be always so comfortable, and that goes for temperature as well. Okay, number 4 is detox. So full body detox, I'm a big proponent of doing this and getting rid of that toxic load, getting your internal organs. So when we talk about lung health, circulation, digestive health, liver health, and making sure that we're actually addressing this from the inside out and using different herbal medicines in combination to be able to get those toxins out. Super amazing for those zombie cells as well as of course number 5, following Mother Nature's prescription. So again, if you're new here, this is the subtitle of my book, Rediscovering Mother Nature's Prescription, of course, and it's all about getting grounded, getting more natural sunlight exposure, your circadian biology, your regular sleep schedules, getting this all in sync becomes very, very important for your overall health and slows down aging. It's great for longevity to get rid of these zombie cells. All of that is in my new book, and we go into detail, and there's a lot of references as well, so you're going to love that. And again, it is available for pre-order, so I thank for all of you who have already pre-ordered your copies. So happy about that, and you're going to love the book, I'm telling you. Okay, number 6 is, of course, regular sleep schedules. Very, very important to clean up your zombie cells based on your circadian biology. And number 7 is quercetin. Now, quercetin we saw, of course, helps with as a natural antihistamine, but there is some research, so you can actually look this up. There is and are some studies now that look at quercetin to help to clear up these zombie cells. They're also called senolytic agents, which is the quercetin, those senescent cells, and those are sort of these half-dead cells, the zombie cells. That is the more sort of medical term, but I prefer zombie cells. It just sounds cooler, right? So the quercetin helps to clean them up, and there is some evidence that the quercetin does this. And quercetin, again, you can take in, of course, if you eat yellow onions is one of the highest food sources for quercetin, but I like to take it in a concentrated formula, which is amazing for motion sickness, but also great for killing off those zombie cells. So this is something that you can use as a longevity supplement as well. So it is remarkable. All right, so thank you to everybody tuning in today. Hit that share button. Make sure you are subscribed, you are following. I am Dr. Janine. Great to have you here. Raina, you can't wait to get your book. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you're going to love it. Yeah, it is such an amazing tool to be able to use and educate yourself about how to really get healthier from the inside out. And of course, that's everything that I share on my content. All right, I'm gonna be talking about some tips for specifically your thyroid gland and how to actually balance out your thyroid. That will be coming up. But first, let's talk a little bit about a topic which I know is concerning for anybody who has this condition, ulcerative colitis. Super, super uncomfortable, painful, causes a lot of weight loss, and is very concerning for anybody who has, this chronic condition. And it's something that I've had great success over my years as a naturopathic doctor treating this, and of course doing it all naturally. All right, so let's look at my tips really quickly to summarize. Excuse me. I'm gonna need my water in just a second. And here we go. All right, so as I lose my voice. All right, thank you so much. There we go, 7 tips for ulcerative colitis. Tip number 1, of course, following Mother Nature's prescription. So yes, getting out into the sun, getting grounded, super, super important for that ulcerative colitis. Number 2 is avoiding certain things in the diet. So whether that's gluten, glyphosate. So this is something that I have other videos on. If you're not sure what these things are, certainly I think everybody knows what gluten is, but glyphosate is a big problem, especially if you live in North America. So a lot of foods, excuse me, unfortunately have this glyphosate issue, and you wouldn't necessarily know it. So that's something that you definitely want to make yourself aware of. Number 3 is probiotics. So putting the good guys back into your diet becomes so, so important for ulcerative colitis and any inflammatory gut disorder. If you're suffering, it could be IBS, it could be Crohn's, colitis. This is something that definitely you want to make sure that you're putting your good guys back in. And a high quality probiotic supplement, they're not all created equal, so you really want to do your research here. I do have videos actually, now that I think of it, specifically what you're looking for in a high quality probiotic, because they're not even always alive, okay, when you're purchasing supplements and probiotics especially. So just do your research on that and make sure that you are learning about that. Number 4 is turmeric. So taking turmeric and making sure that it's got some curcumin in there. There is some evidence now that this can be really helpful as a natural anti-inflammatory, specifically for the gut. And this is something that you definitely want to make sure that it does not contain black pepper. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, does this even exist? Yes, it does. You can search that up, and my team can maybe help to direct you in the right, way in terms of if this is something that you're looking for. Of course, if you've got ulcerative colitis, there is some inflammation happening here, and it's not always indicated to have black pepper, which can be a little bit harsh on the digestive tract. And this is something that, you definitely want to. Now, there is another substance. I see that question. Messiah Marie is asking, okay, black pepper, yes, it does help with the absorption of the curcumin and the turmeric, but there's something even better, and that's the quercetin, which there's a theme today in the show that we've talked about quercetin a few times, but quercetin also helps with the absorption, especially of the curcumin, that active component of the turmeric. So that's something that is available that you can check out. Okay, number 5 is psyllium seed husk. Now this becomes important. So you want your soluble and insoluble fiber. And again, some research has shown that ulcerative colitis is helped by getting some of that fiber to help to sort of take that irritation off of the gut walls. And what psyllium seed husks do, and I'm talking about like in a supplement form, an ultra fine powder of the psyllium seed husks. I find that the whole husks themselves can be a little bit harsh. So an ultra fine powder of this that you can find, that will help to expand with water and actually works like little brushes on the intestinal walls to help to sweep that off, so that and any sort of debris that has built up on the intestinal walls. This is really, really helpful. Okay, number 6 is stress management. We always know that there's a correlation between stress and what's going on with the gut, and that is very important that you're dealing with stress. So meditation, yoga, exercise as well, which is my tip number 7 for ulcerative colitis. Again, naturally managing your stress levels with exercise becomes very important, and and doing more low impact types of exercise, especially if you've got a flare up with the ulcerative colitis. So walking is great, swimming is amazing, especially in the ocean or in a lake, and then you're going to be grounded at the same time, which is amazing. Low impact yoga as well, Pilates, more low impact. You don't want to be bouncing and jumping around too much when you do have a flare-up of your ulcerative colitis, but that helps with the stress response as well, is to get some movement in and gets that blood flowing. Okay, so if you want to screenshot that list really quickly, that would be amazing. Thank you for everybody tuning in today. It's so great to have you all here. And Google it 123. I like that. I like that handle name. Intermittent fasting, is it recommended for women age 54 in menopause? It can be, but first you have to fix your leptin resistance, okay? It's something that I talk about in my new book, and we will have a Q&A tomorrow. So if you do have more questions, it's something that I will be able to answer your questions tomorrow. So please tune in at 1 p.m. It's a little bit different time tomorrow for the live Q&A, and if you have more questions like Google it 123 had, then please make sure that you tune in tomorrow. And that is going to be amazing. Thank you so much to everybody tuning in today. It is great to have you here, and I hope that I did answer your question, Messiah Marie. Yeah, sorry you tuned in a little bit late. Usually I'm here every couple of weeks. Now I will have a bit of a hiatus. I'll be back in June, but usually I'm here every couple of weeks answering your questions as well, and we have a live show, the Doctor Janine Show, on Tuesdays typically. So I hopefully in the next little while, next few weeks, we'll put up some posts just as reminders as to when the next show will be here and when I will be live. All right, I do want to thank all of my super fans. Even in today's show, so many of you were so generous and you donated to the channel. So thank you to you all. And thank you, for tuning in, of course, as you do. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the thyroid and natural ways to balance your thyroid gland. Now we know that this is multifactorial as to why you may have a low thyroid. And of course, with hypothyroidism, the symptoms are fatigue, dry skin, weight gain, low mood, constipation. So if this sounds like you, maybe you know that you have a diagnosis of low thyroid, it's something that becomes very important that you're actually addressing the root cause as to why your thyroid is actually not functioning at its optimal and most optimal way to help with your metabolism, for instance, and your energy levels and your moods. So we're going to talk about 3 natural ways now to address your thyroid, and sometimes it's not even your thyroid per se that is low. It's because of what's happening upstream in your brain, and this is related to something called leptin resistance. So if you don't know what this is, you're going to learn about it in my book. I have a bunch of videos on social media as well that you can learn more, and you can start to educate yourself about leptin resistance. But that is number 1 in terms of my tips, is to fix your leptin and insulin resistance. So this is very important. Usually the leptin resistance happens first before the insulin resistance. And it's something that personally myself, I learned through my own experience with my own thyroid being low, that this was actually the causative factor. It wasn't necessarily just my thyroid that had the issue, it was my leptin resistance, being hungry all the time, and the brain never getting the signal that you've got enough body fat, you've got enough leptin to cause satiety, to shut down the hunger. And I was always thinking about my next meal, always thinking about, my hunger, and it's a problem. And slow metabolism, the thyroid was down regulated, because when you have leptin resistance, you actually increase something in your CRP, so more inflammation, but also something called reverse T3. And reverse T3 actually is counteracting your active thyroid hormones, and that shuts down your thyroid. So that's why fixing this leptin issue and leptin resistance and insulin resistance is something that's super, super important. And I've got all my tips in my book, of course, how to do that and how to do that naturally. Okay, tip number 2 for balancing your thyroid, especially that low thyroid, is to get more sunlight. Okay, where have we heard this before? Of course, if you've been here for a while, you know that this is something that I always talk about, getting out under natural light. And red light therapy can really be helpful as well, as found in this study. So this is really interesting. So they used some of the subjects in the study, and then they followed up with them 6 years later after doing LLLT, is low light laser therapy, so red light therapy. And what they found was that they actually needed less medication, and they found that the ability to treat the hypothyroidism was better in the patients that had the red light therapy, the low light laser therapy. So isn't that interesting? So yeah, always your first option is going to be sunlight, which is natural red light on your thyroid, on your skin, in your eyes, everywhere. So getting under natural light. But again, some people can't and don't see the sun depending on where you live. So you may want to, do some red light therapy, which can be really, really helpful as well. Okay, number 3 on my list, another way to naturally balance your thyroid gland is to actually support the gland with what it needs. And that is a thyroid supporting supplement. Now, we have a new acronym. Is that the right word? Is it acronym? I don't know. Somebody tell me. Yes, acronym? Yeah, so TAPA. So everybody knows about Cabo, right? Cabo for killing off the bad guys in the gut. Now we have TAPA. Okay, so what does TAPA stand for? For the thyroid, you're going to be hearing a lot more of this. Future quiz question, perhaps. All right, so tyrosine, so L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid, it's natural, which supports, that's how we make our thyroid hormone. We need tyrosine to be able to do that. It is something that you can take in a supplement. Okay, so L-tyrosine, so remember TAPA, T-A-P-A. Ashwagandha, which is an adaptogenic herbal medicine, and this is amazing because it helps with your cortisol levels. Cortisol related to pregnenolone steal, related back to leptin resistance. So again, if these are new terms, you're hearing these things for the first time, I encourage you to check out my content because you're going to learn more and more. And of course, tune in every time that I'm live because I explain these things. So ashwagandha, adaptogenic, helps with your thyroid conversion to your active T3 as well. Plectranthus barbatus. Okay, what is this? This is an important herbal medicine that also helps. It's called Forscoli, and this helps with your conversion again of your T4 to your active T3. All right, so that's important, and it also helps with your iodine. So Ascophyllum nodosum is kelp, and that's a natural source for iodine. Iodine, we know, is what makes up your active thyroid hormone. It's one of the most important nutrients that your thyroid actually needs. Magnesium is another one, iodine is one, and of course iron is another really important mineral that of course your thyroid needs to run optimally. And a lot of people that I've seen over the years with low thyroid often have a deficiency in these nutrients. L-tyrosine, it could be, you're not getting enough protein. And that is an amino acid, so it's a protein. The ashwagandha helps to balance the moods as well, which is amazing. Plectranthus barbatus, again, Forscoli, helps with that conversion of your active thyroid hormone. And of course, the ascophyllum, so your kelp, so sea kelp has that natural whole food iodine, okay? Really, really important for your thyroid function. All right, guess what time it is? It is quiz question number 3 time. Remember TAPA, all right? So that might be a future quiz question. We'll do it. We'll visit it a few more times before I actually ask a question on it. All right, quiz question number 3. Everybody who's here, if you're here for the first time, okay, we have active quiz questions throughout the show. This is our 3rd quiz question for today's show. We're playing for the season support from our great friends at Vitatree Nutritionals. It's got that quercetin in there that we talked a lot about in today's show. So we thank them for supporting the show. Whole food vitamins from Vitatree Nutritionals. All right, are we ready? This is an easy, true or false. Here we go. You got 30 seconds, true or false. Turmeric is helpful for ulcerative colitis. You've got 30 seconds on the clock. Good luck, everyone. All right, everybody getting their answers in. I see that, good job. Good job, everyone. All right, 5 seconds left. All right, everybody got your answers in. Trying to stall a little bit more. Yes, good job. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. It's great to have you here. And okay, yes, let's reveal. And of course, the answer is true. So congratulations. And I hope that you did participate today. And make sure you're following me. And of course, Team Doctor Janine as well, if you're new here, because if you are one of so we randomly select out of all of our participants in the quiz questions, we have a generator thing that spins all your names and randomly selects our winner for every show. And we will be announcing that in the next time that we're here for the live show. So don't forget that tomorrow you can tune in and ask me your questions. So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have our Q&A, and you can, of course, ask me all of your questions based on today's show, or if you have other, health questions that are not specific to you. Of course, try to generally ask your questions. Of course, I'm not your doctor, so I can't give you medical advice, but at the same time, I like to answer big general questions that help a lot of people at the same time. Today, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about zombie cells today. We're talking about autophagy. We talked about motion sickness and natural tips and hacks for this. So if you did tune in late, we can revisit some of these tomorrow at 1 p.m. and with your questions as well. We also talked about ulcerative colitis and inflammatory gut disorders and natural ways to boost your thyroid. So what a great show we had, and it is banging Falkreath. I love that. The prize is knowledge. I love the fact that you I share and hopefully am educating you about, some of these natural things, and Michelle likes that answer as well. I love that, which is amazing. Thank you so much. All right, so thank you so much to everybody who tuned in today. It was so great to have you all here. Make sure you tune in. Our next live show, like I said, I'm on a bit of a hiatus. I'll be back June 3rd, okay, for another live show, June 3rd. But in the meantime, we have content that we are uploading every single day. So please check out all of my content, all my videos. There might be a surprise live that might happen between now and June 3rd. So just, be aware and have your notifications on for any type of live that I may do. I don't know. When I'm out on location, let's put it that way, that might be fun to do as well. Thank you for tuning in. It's so great to have you all here every time. My goal is always to empower you over the healing of your own mind, body, and spirit. So please stay well, be healthy, everyone, and have a great day. We'll see you next time.